All right. Hello and welcome. Thank you so much to everyone for holding tight just 4 extra minutes while I kind of finish getting things set up. It's been, it's been a fun day over at the Bennett House. Now, Jeff, were you overly affected the past 24 hours by the windstorm that kind of swept through the plains?
Well, we had a dust storm warning this afternoon here. So
Yeah.
I would say we were adversely affected. Had a tornado warning at about 2:30 this morning.
No, hold
3
on.
this morning.
Josh is claiming. No, hold
3.
on. Oh, nope. Okay. Nice. I would say nice try, but you got me. You got me, Josh. I legitimately thought that maybe there was no audio coming. But the reason for that was, once again, like I don't understand. I do not understand why this StreamYard, every time it like loses my settings, and I'm not sure if Voice Meter has changed the way they do their audio processing, but it's always wrong over there. It always has the wrong camera selected, and so I always have this fear that that's going on over in StreamYard too. Um, but yes, so you had a dust storm. Was it actually dusty?
Very dusty. I didn't
All
even want
right.
to leave work for lunch today. I went down
So
the windows and looked out, and it's just like, whoa, it almost looks like Mars out there.
we had so I lagged behind Jeff a couple hours in weather, and so we had the same sort of stuff. We didn't get the dust, so the dust all kind of fell by the time it got to my neck of the woods. But we got the tornado warning. Starts, and I always get the two backwards, which is so pathetic. Tornado watch and tornado warning.
Oh, you're one of those.
I am. I can never. I've lived here my whole life having to worry about this stuff, and I cannot remember which one is which.
Warning is danger. It's happening, or they think it's happening.
A watch is just
right
like,
now.
oh, things are generally in the right condition.
Let
We're
me
keeping an eye
watch and
out.
see what might happen. I'm gonna watch for it.
It's so frustrating because I love tornadoes. It is on my bucket list. Is someday I got to see from a safe distance an actual tornado with my own eyes. That would be amazing. Just the raw power on display. It's all inspiring to me. I being a tornado chaser was one of my dream jobs. And for the life of me, I can't get it right. But so we had the same thing happening this morning. The tornado watch alarm goes off. I have one of those weather radios, and so it's going off, and I turn it off, and then at 5 a.m. I hear the sirens go off. I'm like, wait a minute, I can clearly hear the sirens from inside. Like I run and I grab the kids, and I'm like, if they're actually doing the sirens right now, it's something major. And it turned out it was just a hail warning that we had a severe thunderstorm about to hit.
The sirens went off for hail?
Hail and thunder. Yep. So
We
it's
had a
probably
little
the
bit of
thunder
hail
went off
here.
for. Yeah. So positive. We did a movie night tonight, and I was real tempted to put on Twister. Amy vetoed me. And she made the right choice.
She has veto power, huh?
She does. She does. I accept her wisdom. And it's right because we get the kids down, and then we find out, okay, it was just thunder. I'm like, sorry everyone, but you hear the sirens. It's better to move quickly and find out that it was just for thunderstorm than to sit around on your phones for a few minutes and have a tornado hit and you not be in a safe location. So they go back upstairs. They're trying to go to bed, and they cannot do it. Like, my son comes down just trembling because he has a window that faces the storm. Like, anytime a storm comes to the area, his window's just, shaking in its frame. And so he comes downstairs, sister follows him, and Amy's like, you are not about to show this child Twister.
They haven't seen it before?
They have not seen it yet. Okay. I can't wait to show it to my oldest. I think he will. I think he'll love it. But even he gets a little scared about tornadoes. Um, they did not get my love for tornadoes. Apparently, that's not genetics for you. No,
Probably
I don't
not.
hate my son. I want to educate him in an amazing movie.
It is a fun movie, isn't it?
Oh, it's fantastic. I have not watched Twisters though.
Ah,
The original
it's
Twisters is such a
it's not
perfect
bad.
movie for me that I didn't want to mess with it.
It's better than I expected it to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, you may want to check it
Oh.
out. It's not as good as the first one, but it's still pretty good.
And Josh is saying that the last time he was in a tornado was back when Glen Rose, Texas was hit. Oh wow, that's been a minute. When, yeah, so we're I'm east of Glen Rose by a fair bit, like maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours tops.
So kind of about halfway between us.
Yeah. And yes, Robert, Twister is the gateway drug. Then suddenly you're watching Sharknado. All of them, just
Mm.
each one better than the next. And Putin's no, there. Welcome. I don't think I've seen you around before. Welcome. There is no tornado coming. There was a tornado in our. I say our. In Texas, like everything in Texas is our area. So I'm in the central area. Jeff is hours away from me, and I keep talking like he lives next door, which would be amazing, but sadly, it's not to be. Uh, but that's how Texans talk. But it was in our area
Yeah,
this morning.
yeah, about 2:30 for me. You said about 5 for you, 5:30.
Yeah.
And Thomas is right. Playing Wheel of Trek about a week and a half ago, I had an earthquake here.
Oh, really? How strong?
Yeah, it was. I think it was a 5.4950, something like that.
All right. So it was actually enough to make you feel it a little.
It was over north of Abilene,
Okay.
but we felt it here.
Yeah, it's so weird. Like when you look at
Ah,
the when you look at the oh. So my son, he's been having some asthma problems today, and the albuterol sulfate upsets his stomach, and he just threw up. Unfortunately,
oh,
yeah,
sorry,
poor kiddo.
sorry.
Yeah, but I mean, it has to be done. Unfortunately, um, I was telling him like I'm sympathetic. I am sorry that's it's happening to him, but it's better to throw up than suffocate. So we tried to reduce it a little bit.
You have a point there.
Yeah. Um, but I was saying geologically, the what was it, the Rocky Mountains come down from Colorado and actually go like right underneath Texas. Like the tectonic plates there. If you look at the map of them, they come down, they go right underneath Texas. We get a few over there in far west Texas, and then it does like this U-turn shape under Texas, and it comes back up on the east coast for the Appalachian Mountains, I think it is.
Yeah.
Smoky Mountains. I think that's part of the
Okay.
Appalachian. But it's fascinating. Like we have the geographic conditions to be a lot more earthquake ridden than we are. And I'm glad that we're not. It would stink to have tornadoes and earthquakes. But I mean, it's not surprising when every once in a while we get a little pop.
I think they've increased over the last maybe couple decades with the fracking that they're doing.
Would be.
They
I
claim
want to
that
say
anyway.
that they do. I want to say that A&M did a study on it and found that all the earthquakes were happening at depths significantly deeper than the fracking, which
Hmm.
which doesn't mean it's not contributing. It would be odd for it to be contributing, but I mean, you don't know. There's no way to be like conclusive. Hey, yes, this is happening at deeper depths, but maybe it turns out by doing all this stuff up here, it's having impacts down lower. I don't know.
It could. I don't know. Melphis is saying no. I'm not sure what he means.
I think he's responding to Josh saying, "Can we give Matthew a small spoiler?" And yes, the answer is no.
Okay. Oh wait, is it yes or no?
No spoilers. We'll jump in here in a second.
Okay.
Because Josh, I think there actually might be a boom today. It makes sense for there to be a boom today. We're going to be watching the season finale of season 2. So I'm really looking forward to it. Now, I do have one last caveat to give here. If at some point my wife comes in, I am going to have to leave you in Jeff's capable hands as we get this going. So hopefully everything's good. She's excessively capable, but something might come up where she's like, hey, I need backup. Because we are a little bit late getting to bed because we're taking care of Aiden. So everyone else is, kind of on a late schedule. And we got our day started at 5. So everyone's a little bit sleepy today.
Mine kind of started at 2:30.
Yeah.
The thunderstorm woke me up. Luckily, it didn't last very long.
Thankfully. It came through hard and quick. And it has been just shaking all day. And that's the other thing.
Thomas.
Yeah, she needs my help. That is desperate. Yes. But the other thing is apparently my UPS for my server is dead. I found that out today.
No.
That while I was out of town last week, which is why we didn't do the stream last week, the power went out and it drained the battery all the way. And that UPS, it's old. It is very old. It's like a 6 to 7 year old UPS that sat in storage for a long time, and then I finally pulled out. So that all the way down battery drain killed that UPS. So we've been having power issues today. If the power goes out to the house, even for a second, it is going to kill my computer. So sorry about that, everyone. We'll find out. We'll find out. But if that happens, I do apologize. And
Joe Miller says FedEx is even worse.
Oh yeah, what's up with UPS and FedEx? Thomas was upset at UPS for something.
Actually, he is quoting Bird.
Oh, and I'm saying UPS, the battery backup. Okay, I got there. It takes me a minute, but we're good. Now it has been a very hot minute since our last stream. Do you, by any chance, remember my prediction?
Well, I have some notes here from Sebastian, who mysteriously took my place last time. I don't know what happened. I just blanked out. I don't know.
Those Vorlons, so, they just do what they want.
Yeah, right. So apparently this is the end of the season, and it ends on a down note, you said. A down note on the down from season 1's a bit of a down note. If that makes any sense. I don't know.
Sure.
I wasn't here. It's too soon for the shadows to have a direct appearance, but because of Londo's actions, the stage has been set for the shadow spider's presence to be ratcheted up. There will be falling out of the nations. The Centauri will make their move against the other powers. The universe will be in a state of disarray. A great way to do this would to have the shadow weapons, and you said this is a possibility, used to disrupt the jump gates. It's used on the B5 jump gate, and B5 is alone in the universe with the Centauri going against the other powers. There will be a lot of questions of Sheridan and Dolores being the right people at the right place at the right time, since this is all happening now. And, oh, yes, Kefir saves the day.
And Kefir saves the day. And yes, Josh, thank you for the reminder. Let me go ahead and pin that there. Uh, so yeah, I look forward a lot to today. I'm extremely interested to see how 100% correct I am. Going out on a strong note, I got feelings about my prediction. So, sorry. Here's how this works. Hopefully, as thankfully, since Josh reminded me, you can come join us in the screening room. And what that does is it syncs up all of our watch time together so that if you're here right now during the stream, you can jump on there and what you'll see is what I'm seeing within a couple seconds of each other. If you're here in the future, thanks for coming. Sorry you couldn't be here while we were live, but I got you covered in two different ways. The first way is you can watch the clips down there. And this does not have any audio. This is only one clip every 7 to 9 seconds. It'll just grab a still image so that you can have a reference for what's going on as we talk about the show. And this is where hopefully there actually is no audio. This is the best time to have no audio. I do not want to get in trouble by accidentally having the audio play through YouTube, because that's not what this is about. I'm not trying to make a substitution. I actually want you to go out and get Babylon 5 for yourself. And personally, I think the best way of doing that is by buying the physical media. I looked on Amazon today, and it's $75 for the Blu-ray, which is a great deal, I think. I wish I got paid by that. I wish I was a shill. I'm not a shill. I'd love to be sponsored, but Amazon's not going to sponsor me. So I honestly feel like the best way to have media is have a physical copy of it and, save up. And it's a better option than all these streaming services. But hey, if you have the streaming services, go ahead and use them. It's available on Amazon ad-free if you have Amazon Prime. It's available for free on... Oh,
actually, it is no longer on Amazon Prime.
No.
It's true.
I'm shocked. They lost their license, huh?
Apparently so. Now you can still buy it on Amazon.
Right.
Buy the digital copies to watch, but it's not on Prime anymore.
Oh, wow. Yeah, Josh, I'm a wannabe shill. That's even worse. So I'm sorry. Apparently you can't watch it on Amazon, but I believe you can still watch it on... what is it? Tubi?
Tubi TV.
And Hulu? No, Roku. And then, of course, you can buy it on all the digital stuff on iTunes, on Google, YouTube, and apparently Amazon. You can watch it there. So for Tubi and for Roku, it's free, is my understanding. At least for Tubi it is, but you do have to watch ads. So it's literally Roku like turning on your TV back in the day. So it's great. So with all that out of the way, let's go ahead and get started. And I'm really looking forward to seeing what happens in the season finale of season 2. So if you're here in the future, let me give you a quick 3 countdown, and we're gonna get this thing going here. So 3, 2, 1, hit that play button, everyone. Do a quick listening here. Yep. Okay. I don't hear any audio, so we're good. And was that actually Kiefer? Look at that. There's Kiefer.
It was Kefir.
Kefir and missing his shots.
Actually, looks
like he was doing a little.
He got hit.
Oh. So they're doing some training missions, training runs, war games. That's what it's called. And I mean, when Sheridan,
very good,
was in charge. No, this is Sheridan. When Sinclair was in charge, he also was a top fighter pilot. But Sheridan, Starkiller himself is quite the renowned fighter.
He is. And yes, Thomas is correct. This show is actually on Discovery Plus.
Oh, is it? Thank you.
Yes.
And here's Veer, someone that I will die on this hill. I think he is one of the most important people in the entire universe.
Definitely.
But he's saying that the ambassador is starting to look different. So they're reminiscing about how hard it is to be aides to ambassadors, and they, in unison, talk about how it makes them nervous.
Yes, Joel. Don't give away the home world.
And I was rewatching. I was hoping to rewatch all the episodes, kind of leading up to this, the past 4-ish episodes. Um, but I do like going back and seeing the things that I misheard or got wrong the first time around. And one of the things I got wrong was when Talia had her personality switch out, because the secret password revealed that she was a traitor in our midst. I had misunderstood the situation. I thought that Talia, as we knew her, was the fake personality, but they were saying that Talia was the real. And yeah, they're saying the Centauri are expanding.
Yes, they are. Are you surprised?
No. Hey, that was one of my predictions. So far, going in strong.
Yes, very good, Matthew.
Pat my back there. Yeah, they just need the breathing room. That's right, Thomas. But no, so I thought Talia's personality was fake, and that when the code word was given, the real personality would become the dominant one again. And listening to them explain it a second time, I realized that they condition her with a personality that's fake. And when the code word is given, the fake personality kills the true personality, and she becomes this sleeper agent who awakes. And that really changes kind of the dynamic of the scene for me. It's a much more tragic event. Because it's not just that she's this sleeper agent spy and she wasn't genuine the whole time. Like, she actually cared for everyone on the station, and she died. The character died, and this new person is now here.
Omni says good riddance. I'm not sure why. I'm not sure if he's referring to these credits, which Joe Miller says is the last time we'll see this version of the credits.
Oh.
Or if he means Talia. Oh, to the opening credits. I like him, Omni.
So he's Sheridan is dressing down Londo, saying, what do you think you're doing? The as if blasting the Narn back to the Stone Age wasn't enough. Now you're encroaching on everyone else's territories. And he's claiming that, we're just establishing a presence. It's not what you think. And I do like how this has such a real world connection to the pre World War II times. And just people were being, they're all burned out from World War One, and they're like, okay, well, if we just acquiesce here, they said this is it, this is the end. And so we got a lot of parallels here, because the humans themselves are pretty worn out from war, from the in Bari War.
And Josh Street is echoing what you're saying. This sounds like something that happened in the 30s.
And K. Roberts, yeah, it's a vicious cycle from 5,000 years of history. It's true. Um, while the 30s is the most recent example for us, it's a cycle that goes on and on and on. Just the, oh, well, just a little bit further, just a little bit further. And Sheridan has come and is talking to Garibaldi saying, you're basically the closest thing Londo has to a friend. Maybe you can do something. Maybe you can talk to him.
Ooh.
Night Watch. I had forgotten about them a little bit. So there, um, Ivanova just paged in saying that a VIP has just come aboard an Earth Force ship, and it's the head of the Ministry of Peace. Which there's nothing associated bad with that name, so we know that they honestly care about peace.
Oh.
Kefir rocked that ascot, brother. Yes. He's doing his best Fred from Scooby-Doo impersonation.
Ooh. Cross between a spider and your worst nightmare.
And what was going on there, this lady was just mentioning that she caught something in hyperspace for just a moment that, as Jeff was saying, was a cross between a spider and your worst nightmare. And that was kind of Kiefer's ongoing, I can't call it an arc, but a storyline with Kiefer is that he saw something back when he was momentarily lost in hyperspace. And so he kept going in on his free time trying to find it again.
And was shut down.
That's right. He was shut down.
Told not to do it anymore.
Now, was that because Sheridan now had the connection to what the shadow spiders were, and he didn't want? Okay.
He didn't want them to be revealed to make them act sooner because they were not ready for them yet. Oh, it's time for Kiefer.
Apparently, all the flight boys wear ascots. Kind of a World War I flying ace.
Yeah.
Oh, this was the guy that saw. I thought the girl saw it, but she was saying that Harvey saw it.
Hashtag influential acting, says Omni.
So he's saying that he filed a report, but his systems were all blown out, and there was no one out there to back him up and confirm what he saw. And so it seems like they kind of just waved it away. At least in his mind, that's what he thinks they did. But honestly, I mean, I kind of believe. I understand. Like, you would think that they'd be more listening to their pilots, but maybe this is kind of a common hyperspace phenomenon to see things that aren't there in strange dimensional folds of the universe.
Oh, they also want to dissuade any investigation into this because they know what it is.
So Ivanova is mentioning that they don't have seasons on Babylon 5, so they don't really mark the time very well.
but she knew it was Christmas time.
And so Ivanova recognizes that he has grandchildren, that it's obvious. She says you can see it even in the dark, like he just glows about it. And he says that, well, that's the reason he's out here. He wants a better future for them. I'm not sure what the insignia on his coat are, on his lapels there. The Ministry of Peace logo, maybe?
That's what I'm thinking. That's what Omni says too. Yeah, it's Corwin. You're right, Omni. Ooh,
It's a Narn heavy cruiser.
how about that?
And so Sheridan is saying, yeah, welcome to the station. Weren't aware that any Narn heavy cruisers were survived. And apparently they were away doing reconnaissance. And he's saying, if once our existence becomes aware of, we'll be hunted down. And he's now requesting sanctuary, which is difficult. I mean, just imagine if you're France, let's say, and all of a sudden uh, a British heavy cruiser shows up at your port. Like, how do you think Germany's going to react to that uh, during the late 30s? I mean, even I know that's not a excessively good example, but um, it's a neutral territory with an enemy vessel suddenly trying to dock at your port. That's gonna be difficult. Melphasis wants to know, does the actor sound familiar? Which one? This guy or the Ministry of Peace guy? Texas, I had forgotten that. The British sank the entire French fleet to keep Germany from getting them, so. And this guy is also a Ministry of Peace guy, right?
Night Watch.
Night Watch. Most is saying the one talking to her. I mean, you guys know my abilities to recognize faces. To me, he looks a little bit like a heavier set Brandon Fraser.
Well, he did play a warrior cast Minbari on the Grey Council, Hedron, or Hedron. He also played General Valen in Star Trek Voyager and Anari in the episode The Void. That's not Nehruin, is it? That's Hedron or Copeland.
And so, what he's trying to do right now, he's trying to recruit her into the Night Watch mindset, and is offering her kind of an expedited path to
Wait a
her
minute.
captaincy.
Wait a minute. No, I got it wrong. It's the Narn that I'm talking about, not him.
Okay. No, Omni, no. He is not an Eyes in the Dark One Moon. Please, no. That is one of my top 5 most disliked Star Trek episodes. I
I
just off
had
the
my
top of my head, I'd
actors
say it's
mixed
number
up.
3.
But yes, you're right. He did play Nehru.
Sheridan is giving him sanctuary. Uh, and so it seems like Earth is getting ready to take sides here. That the Ministry of Peace guy is here investigating things, Uh, and I'm going to call it right now that the Ministry of Peace is going to be on the Mbari or the Centauri side. That they are building things up to sound as if they're going to be on the Narn side, but I think in the end they are sided with darkness. And so they're asking Zach why he hasn't been filing reports. And he's saying, well, there's nothing to report. And they're like, why didn't you report this store owner? And he's like, well, the guy only said he thought the new regulation imports were a little nuts. I'm like, well, that's the beginning of sedition right there. Starts out so innocently. They're saying that the Night Watch exists to protect our people from misinformation and harmful ideas. So yes, I mean
Malthus,
you
he
get
was
an extra. Go ahead.
right. Malthus, he was also a Cardassian. He played Damar's friend. The end of season 7.
Okay.
He also
And
played
so
a
he's
Klingon in Enterprise, Prosecutor Orak.
and so they're really pressuring Zach right now. Um, yeah, man. You're not wrong, Thomas. Oh, Zach.
You can tell Zach is not comfortable doing this.
So they're really pressuring him that they talk about how any talk at all against the president is potentially dangerous. And Zach's like, well, I guess I hadn't really thought about it like that, but I'm just not comfortable with this. And they get him to uh, confirm another report. So they're like, well, look, it's, you know, um, you're not telling us anything we don't already know. You're just confirming someone else's report, which was an extremely common tactic of getting information actually from POWs. That you would present the information as if you already had it, and then they'd confirm it, and that's how you would know what's going on. They'd be like, oh yeah, we got this letter from your mom and this where you grew up, and they give the name of the place they grew up and all this stuff, and they'd be like, oh yeah, that's right. There's actually there were several instances where they had the pilots go up in German planes, the POWs, and they say, well, what do you think about the seat? And they say, oh yeah, we'd have a lot more vibration on ours, and so they weren't really giving sensitive information about our stuff. But by giving them this sort of responses, it let the Germans know how we designed our planes at a great deal beyond what we thought we were revealing. And unfortunately, Zach does acquiesce and confirm. Meanwhile, Jakar excitedly tries to approach the Ministry of Peace guy and is shut down. He kind of gets brushed off and is left wondering what's going on here.
And Kiefer has a way of finding these shadow vessels.
I'm sure that will turn out wonderful for him. That's how he's going to save the day.
There you go.
Omni is saying, notice the B5 logo with olive branch on it. Where was that? And remember that, yeah, I did notice how they focused on that woman who turned around.
Mm-hmm.
And sure enough, the Ministry of Peace guy is here to sign a non-aggression pact with the Centauri. Oh, I knew it. I knew he was going to say that.
That sounds so familiar, doesn't it?
It does. We will at last know peace in our time, straight from the pages of history.
That sure worked out. Uh-oh.
And so the big thing that just happened here is that the Ministry of Peace guy says, "Hey, I heard that you are training using Centauri combat models. So you're training your people to fight the Centauri." And Sheridan says, "Well, how do you know about that?" And that's when they deliberately focused on the woman who just went into the elevator with the other Ministry of Peace guy. Because there's something I think you should know. And Sheridan is saying there was a time when he'd wear the uniform and it'd make him feel 10 feet tall. But now he's not sure. He's just not sure what it stands for anymore. And Ivanova gets him a Christmas Hanukkah present. Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, whatever.
Very unique gift that she's given him.
Is it a... I thought maybe it was going to be the hat that Ivanova got from the ambassador. And it is a piece of the Black Star, which was the Mbari war cruiser, where he got his name from, the Star Killer.
Uh-oh.
Oh, so Malari uh, has contacted the captain saying, "I demand to know what's going on. You are harboring a Narn heavy cruiser," and uh, that must have been what the lady on the elevator was revealing.
Nah, it can't be.
Coincidence.
Yeah.
They're trying to get the Narn captain out of here, but it's too late. Not only are his engines not available, not only will the jump drive not be ready for some time, there's already a Centauri heavy cruiser here. So they're hoping that maybe at least he could get his engines going and just get into the jump gate, go anywhere. But no such luck. Commercial break time. And so the Ministry of Peace guy, apparently named Mr. Lance, he is frustrated that everything Sheridan is doing is jeoparding all the work that he's been pushing for. And he says, well, or Sheridan responds with, well, the treaty has not been signed yet, and I have promised sanctuary, so we're going to keep moving forward on that. And so Sheridan has contacted Londo and said that we are escorting the Narn ship out of Babylon 5 space. Once they are gone, it is none of my concern what happens to them, but they are getting an escort. And if you fire on any of my ships, we will respond. Now, this worked once earlier in the season, but I don't think it's going to work twice.
It's the first time we see the new defense grid in action that
I
was
thought they had
installed
it
in
open at one point earlier.
Gropos. This is a new defense grid. Remember, they were saying that this new defense grid is good enough to fend off a heavy battle cruiser.
And yes, I see the olive branch back there. And they fire.
Uh-oh.
On the station. Boom today. Oh no, potentially Kiefer.
Well, no, he's okay. Thank goodness. Kiefer to the rescue.
Kiefer will save the day.
Ooh. Lots of booms today.
Yeah, Thomas, I'm pretty sure Kiefer doesn't make it past this season, regardless if he lives or dies. And so Sheridan, he says, scramble all medical ships. There's still time, but there's not. Not only did they disable the Centauri ship, they done blow it up. Though to be fair, the Centauri ship did fire first.
They did.
What makes me think they wouldn't keep the studio guy around? Well, he just doesn't seem that influential.
Ooh, fighting words there. Omni's going to get on you.
And so the Mr. Lance, the Ministry of Peace older guy, is trying to give the captain a dressing down, which is a little difficult when you're a civilian. Now, I did notice just now that the Ministry of Peace and the Night Watch guy do have different lapel symbols. So I don't know if this is some sort of ranking system within Earth Force or if this is just the symbols of their divisions.
They're like different departments.
But as part of the dressing down, Lance is saying you never should have fired back, and Sheridan points out like, hey, if I hadn't fired back, we'd be dead. That's That's
Yeah.
kind of a bad thing. And uh, he goes on to quote specific regulations talking about how, as part of the Earth Force, that he is required to aid any ship that asks for sanctuary that they are not currently in hostilities with.
And that's General Order 47.
Not one.
Not one, but 47.
Still up there.
Well, 47, that's a big number in Star Trek.
It is.
Olive Branch.
And so the Ministry of Peace guy, slick talker, um,
Yeah, I don't like
or
him.
excuse me, that's Night Watch guy. Excuse me, Night Watch guy, a very slick talker. Um, ooh, and keep Kefir is his program is detecting the spiders potentially.
Yes, Thomas. Trek sold 47.
But the Night Watch guy is saying that they could have potentially negotiated the way out of it. Like if he had been up front with an armed cruiser instead of trying to make them escape, maybe they could have used that as a bargaining chip. And he's able to convince Sheridan that he needs to write an apology, an official apology. And so he's trying to think up an apology, but it's not going well. He goes, "I'm sorry we had to defend ourselves from your aggressors. I'm sorry your crew was so stupid as to fire on us." Which I imagine won't be his official apology.
Oh,
Uh,
Kefir, what are you doing?
Now, they had previously made a big deal about how you couldn't just fly willy nilly in hyperspace, that you had to follow a very set
Oh,
path.
he's probably on the beacon.
I mean, we have to assume that because he's not lost.
Right.
And that or he's making a really big gamble here and just following the ship. Oh, okay. So as long as their system is working correctly, they can lock onto the beacon regardless of where they fly in hyperspace. And the issue was that one ship's tracking equipment was destroyed, so they couldn't get beacon lock anymore.
Well, they can't wander far from the beacon.
And Jakar shows up. He doesn't he doesn't understand what's going on yet.
Uh-oh.
Oh, Kiefer.
Oh.
Maybe he survived. Yeah, he'll be okay. Sure, Omni. Yeah,
Just a
so
flesh wound.
they're just X-raying him. That's why you saw his skeleton system. Uh, but yeah, Jakar he doesn't understand what's about to happen here. He's saying maybe if he spoke on Sheridan's behalf, then he could accomplish something, and he still has some friends in high places, and he doesn't realize that Sheridan is coming to apologize, and that the Earth is not on his side. But hey, there's something going on with the Vorlon
Hmm.
caution
He and
Dolores.
Dolores had to have a private discussion off to the side.
And that was an interesting look he got from the Centauri.
Hmm. Well, he just did destroy one of their warships.
And yo, hey, look, there's
Oh.
a Walkman or something. I believe I can fly. So I mean, there is low gravity in the center. Oh, is Kosh gonna have to do something? And yeah, she says, Kosh, you know what's at stake. If you're gonna do something, you must do it now. Red Bull gives you wings. Hopefully that works here. Oh, is that what Kosh looks like? Huh. And all the different people are, uh, I assume, talking about how he looks like some sort of angelic being in their own religions. But I'm curious how he got out of the suit.
He opened it up.
Yeah, I know, but that's a small hole that he got his body through.
Well,
Maybe he's like a cat, as long as he can get the whiskers through. But it's interesting to me that he looks something like the Mbari. Like honestly, he looks kind of like Delin does now
hmm.
with wings.
Delenn? Who's Delenn?
You know me and names. Yes, Sir Lord, Loomis Beings is he, not this crude matter. I missed the scared look, Josh. I thought he looked more odd.
I didn't think he looked scared. He just looking up going, huh?
Oh, and so it wasn't just that they were naming something from their own religion. Uh, Sheridan is saying that everyone saw him differently. They all saw a being of light, but they all saw him differently. So it's entirely possible that he got out of his suit because that's not what his physical body looks like.
That's correct.
Mm. Okay, so things are about to get even worse. They they were just saying that the situation is manageable. That as long as uh, the spider people think that no one knows about them, they're not going to move yet. That it's okay that Kosh has revealed himself. The important thing is that the Vorlons, uh, or that the spider people don't know that they are known. And Londo said he saw nothing,
He obviously
just
reacted to
nothing.
something.
Oh, did I see the look on Londo's face? Yes, Josh. I misread that. I'm sorry. Yes, Londo. Uh, I would say he looked very disturbed. Oh, the okay. I think that was a deliberate hand motion on Londo's part. They had him doing all the the motions that you see the mustache leader with brown shirts.
Mm. Sack must be feeling a little guilty.
I hope so. And and there we go. There's the bad news that the shadows the shadow spiders have been revealed. Kiefer's final act was unfortunately sabotaging the safety that we still had. Yeah, now we just have to wait a year for the next season, or a week. You know, one of the two.
Whole year?
Or it would have been a summertime, right? Or was there literally a year between episodes when they originally aired?
No, it was over the summer.
Okay.
Actually, I think the way they did it, they aired through the summer and then took a couple months off and came back like in November-ish. It was a bit odd.
Okay.
And the episodes actually aired in the UK before they did here.
Hmm. I think I remember you mentioning that, and they had
Yeah.
messed up. They'd messed up something UK related in an episode.
Oh yeah, it was Sebastian, where which part of London he was in.
Yes, that's what it was.
Yeah.
It's just been 3 weeks, so I forgot. Hopefully we don't have to do that again.
Probably
Kiefer's
not.
in the Delta Quadrant now. Yeah, there you go.
Oh, okay. The Delta
A little
Quadrant.
crossover.
Hmm. Caretaker got
Uh,
him.
so Jeff, thoughts about this episode?
This was a very good episode. Very good episode. And it sets up season 3, as you will see, very, very well. Things just keep ramping up from here. And we get into more or less a serialized show.
Mhm.
There will be an occasional episode here or there that won't be serialized as much, but pretty much all the episodes from here connect very well together. We got to see Kosh, or at
Yeah.
least our interpretation of Kosh. I don't think we actually got to see him as he actually appears yet.
Hmm.
It's how they want us to think he appears. We've been trained to see him in a certain way, to see the Vorlons in a certain way.
As angelic beings.
Joel says the shadows are not hiding in the shadows anymore. They're doing less and less of that, I think, Joel. Although I
Yeah, I
still
feel like
think
they were
they're hiding
trying
a
to
bit.
be. Yeah. But I think that kind of just got ruined a bit.
Otherwise, I don't think they would have destroyed Kefir's ship. I think they would have just let him go if they weren't concerned. He was no threat to them. They're not acting like the Borg.
How's that?
If you aren't threatening to the Borg, they're just going to let you do whatever.
Right.
We've seen that. We've seen that before. You know, away teams beam over to the Borg ship, and they're basically ignored until they start shooting at stuff or interfering with stuff.
Okay. Okay.
So they're not the Borg. Yeah, and I think you're starting to see some more of the corruption of Earth force of the Earth government. Where totalitarian government starting to form here.
Yeah.
Just merely having a discussion about how you're against the current policy gets you shut down in jail, whatever.
Yeah. I mean,
So
imagine if we had that today. Like,
yeah.
Like people get really worked up about presidents. You know, people were really worked up when Biden was in office. Now people are getting really worked up when Trump is in office. But at the end of the day, at least we still get to badmouth them. Like, can you imagine if everyone who is badmouthing Trump right now, like, had to worry about the cops showing up at their door? I'm glad we don't have that. I'm glad that you still get to badmouth the president here.
I think Zach is really starting to second guess his association with the Night Watch.
Yeah.
And
So
what is going to come of that?
So don't answer this, but rhetorical question: What do you think is going to happen there? You think he's going to stick around in Night Watch? I really hope they continue keeping him in season 3.
Oh, Omni says he likes the money, so maybe he'll just play along. I don't know.
He might.
He might. But it seems as if he has a conscience about it. Conscience, rather.
He does for now. But that's the thing. They already got him to compromise his conscience. He was initially unwilling to rat out the store owner, but eventually they got him. And I mean, once you make that first step, it's going to be a decision moment. Either he's going to look at that and go, I cannot be part of this organization, or he's going to, feel guilty about it, but stay in there and over time become more and more in line with their ideology.
So you're saying it could go either way?
It could. And as an appreciator of writing, I think it will go negative, that they will keep him in and we will see him becoming more in line with the brown shirt mentality. I mean, that's what it is. It's totally an analogy. It's comparison to
analogous.
Yeah, to the brown shirts back in the day, the watch squad they had, and the way people were continually willing to make more and more compromises and keep in line with the party mindset. And I feel like that's what his character is there for, to continually be pulled into that direction. So, I mean, I expect him to become in line with it. I don't know what they're going to do after that. Like, it'd be nice to have a redemption arc. I love a good redemption arc, but I could also see him becoming someone who's truly antagonistic.
Well, as they say, time will tell.
I don't have faith in Zach. Now, I have faith in good writing, and this show has proven itself to be trustworthy of that faith.
Writing has been excellent for the most part. I will agree with you there. Now, for Kosh, he did say it was him to Sheridan, but I don't think not many others know it was Kosh. Dolores certainly knew, because Dolores and Kosh, they went off to the side, so they were kind of alone when Dolores pleaded with him to do something. Everybody saw this angelic being that was floating up to catch Sheridan, but they don't know it was Kosh. In fact, the conversations we hear afterward give no indication that they knew it was Kosh. So his identity is still hidden.
Yes.
to most people. And we still haven't seen his true form yet.
Uh,
And that
on
goes
that,
back to
I'm
the pilot.
extremely interested in knowing what Londo saw.
Yeah, that would be really interesting to know. To me, he just kind of looked up and was like, huh, what is that?
I'll have to
That
look
was the
again.
expression I
I'm
got
not sure if I'd
from
call
him.
it dread, but it wasn't joy either.
It was puzzlement to me.
Oh,
Uh-oh.
did I just? You
Matthew,
still here? Breaking up. Come on, hold it together.
Susan. Uh-oh. Now I just kind of rolled out for a second.
Ooh, yeah,
Are we
you're
still
garbled
here?
and blurry. Okay. Is it me? Is it Jeff? What do you chat? What do you got going
Yeah.
on here?
Interference from the Ministry of Peace. That's true. Can you hear us?
I can hear you,
It's
Jeff.
got them preaching pods.
Can everyone hear me?
Hurry. You're kind of singing right now.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting from you too,
Cyberman.
Jeff. And people in chat aren't saying anything, so I'm wondering if the internet problems on my end.
Apparently, I have to install like plus. Jeff is a robot, says Josh. I thought I was Sebastian. Yeah, he can spell, or the old Cybermen from Doctor Who. And I think we've lost Matthew.
Let's see.
Oh,
Everyone
you're
is
back.
saying, Jeff
I think
is having problems. I'm fine. Okay, I think it may have also been me, guys, because like the chat stalled out for a minute for me, and then kicked up. So,
okay. Apparently, we're both back, says Kay Roberts.
Excellent. Weird.
Okay. Sorry about that, folks.
Okay, so
on the news nets, or the Usenets rather, back in the day, JMS described about the Vorlons.
Mm-hmm.
He kind of spilled it a little bit. So he says, okay, here it is. I'm going to do it. I'm going to reveal Kosh. I'm not kidding. Bail now if you're looking in and don't want to know. No backsies. I mean it. Last chance. Okay, this is it. If he leaves his encounter suit, he will be recognized. By who? Everyone. The first ones taught the younger races, explored beyond the rim, built civilizations. Kosh is what you're pointing at when you say, that's Kosh. Yes, the Vorlons have been to Earth. The Vorlons have been everywhere. The Vorlons are. They are. For centuries, the Vorlons have helped the younger races, guiding us and manipulating us. It is, as you say, a matter of perspective. They are a matter of perspective. Each race who sees them sees something out of their own past, their own legends, religions, faiths, a being of light, if you will. But a Drazi sees the Drazi version of that, Droshala. The Minbari see the Minbari version of that, Valeria. Humans see a human version of that. It is the mirror in which we see our beliefs reflected, but it is the progenitor of those beliefs, or an implanted image that overlays that vision on top of the true form of the Vorlon. It is revelation, or is it manipulation? The Vorlons are a cipher. The Vorlons are a matter of perspective. The Vorlons are guides, or users, emissaries, or puppeteers who wish to be seen in a certain way. So they will react properly. Is this good or is this bad? And the truth is, even though you have seen a Vorlon, have you seen the Vorlon, the one behind the image that dances somewhere between your optic nerve and your brain? Or to quote a message he left, paraphrase from memory, the hand Sinclair sees, and I was going to mention this earlier about the pilot. The hand Sinclair sees is not the hand Sinclair sees. And the hand Sinclair sees is not the same hand someone else in the room sees. And it's not even the hand that the person sees. The Vorlons are. So you have it straight from JMS. Very
Yeah,
cryptic, very Vorlon.
Omni was saying you're quoting Sebastian, and I caught that too, or as well. Yeah, so
there
that's
is
interesting.
Sebastian in that.
It's the Doctor Who perception filter.
There you go.
Dialed up to 11. Interesting.
So I want to know what happens to the Narn cruiser. It did escape, so will we see it again? Will it have some future implications?
I don't know. All in all, I thought this was a great episode. It's interesting because I gotta watch it again. Like, I wouldn't say it felt super season finale. Like, it obviously was. But it didn't. You know, oftentimes you have a season finale, you just shove everything into it as quick as you can. And then you just stop on the cliffhanger. This did stop on a cliffhanger.
Fire.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You bring up this huge, major, amazing thing, and things are coming left, right. What's going on? And then you gotta wait for next season to figure anything out. This felt like another episode. Like I 100% could see this happening anywhere in the season in terms of pacing. Although in terms of, hey, this is the wrapping up of an arc, it was obviously the end. So the season was a very nicely contained arc for what's going on. And I say this to emphasize how well written this is, because instead of feeling like we just got to get everything in because I don't know what's happening and we got to finish this up and we got to have this huge thing to make everyone come back for next season. It's just, hey, you know what? This is the end of the arc. Yes, it's the end of the season, but we have a pace and we're going to keep going at the same consistent pace the entire way through the season, or the series rather. And I thought that made for a much more engrossing episode. Like at no point in this episode did I feel like I was being overwhelmed with information, or did I feel like things were being rushed along. This was such a nice ending to everything they brought up at the beginning of the season. We didn't. My prediction. I gotta give it an F. I think the shadow people weren't ready to reveal themselves, but at the same time, the episode didn't feel its expanding weight per se. One might argue that the Ministry of Peace people are aligned, at least philosophically, with the Shadow Spiders, it feels like. But we don't have proof at this point in time that they are as officially integrated with the Spider people the way that the Centauri are. So I can't claim victory on that point. Maybe if I remember this and we find out that retroactively the Ministry of Peace and the new government were totally they answered the vice president. He answered, "What do you want?" And what he wanted was power for Earth and to be president. Maybe it turns out we are affiliated, or the new government is affiliated with them. But until that time, I can't claim victory tonight. And even worse, Kefir really messed things up for us in a major way. The fact that Sheridan couldn't reveal why he was telling him to stop, but he tried to get him to stop. And the fact that Kefir basically abandoned his post, he went AWOL to chase after this obsession of his in the middle of an escort mission.
Yeah, he did, didn't he?
And even as Dolores was feeling safe in the knowledge that, hey, we had to reveal Kosh, but it's okay. Or we had to reveal who was in the suit without revealing Kosh. But it's okay because the Shadow Spiders still aren't going to become aggressive because they think that no one knows about them. So as long as we got that, we have time to prepare. And so they really didn't dig into that yet. But they just said, hey, this was mentioned 1 minute ago, and you can see she's wrong. So buckle up. Uh, so in terms of predictions for next season. So first of all, episode 3 or season 3, episode 1 is called Matters of Honor. And I feel like this will be an episode that focuses on Jakar. The Narn seem to be a race most affiliated with how you do things honorably. I mean, we did get the stuff with Londo and, you know, him being part of the swords and how they do things honorably. But I feel like it makes more sense for this to focus on Jakar as we kick off the new season and pick up with this idea of how this is affecting Jakar. So if I kind of think about this, kind of spitballing here, in season 1, we looked at the humans. In season 2, we looked a lot at the Mbari and how Dolores was going through things. I could see season 3 being a season that really focused on the Narn, specifically as they try and build up this resistance force and how Jakar is left in the state of limbo. So the same way that Dolores has been left in the state of limbo throughout season 2 as she figures out who she is, which last week we finally got the resolution. She was drifting the wind. Who am I? You know who you are now. Well done. So I can see Jakar kind of mirroring that throughout the next season and it being kind of a Narn-centric season. And then I could see season 4 being about the Centauri and season 5 being about the Vorlons. So obviously, like I say that, I understand, like we talked a lot of races. Like it didn't just focus on her, on the Centauri, or excuse me, the Mbari. But there was kind of an overall theme to the season. And I feel like one of the big themes was who Delenn is and how the Mbari kind of fit in the galactic scheme. So I could see each season kind of focusing on one of the 5 core members of the council.
Thomas says, wow, completely wrong again.
Could be. Yeah, Matters of Honor, so Matthew will love it.
Or he's pulling your leg. Who knows?
Who knows?
Hey,
Lemon Pie. How you doing? So
welcome, Lemon Pie.
So I think that as we kick off episode 1 of season 3, we're going to be focusing on Jakar. We're going to be focusing on how he is trying to act honorably in a situation where everyone is acting with dishonor in his mind. So, I mean, just think about it. So from his mind, he thought the humans were here. We're officially going to support you. And just one more person stabbing him in the back. We're not here to support you. We're actually here to sign a non-aggression pact with the Centauri. Mm-hmm. And so now he's going to have to deal with that. Delenn, she has no power, so he's going to feel like she's not acting honorably because she claims to want to help, but has no power to do anything. Kosh is his usual aloof self. Londo is perhaps the biggest betrayer of them all. So I can see this kind of being the theme of the episode as we kick off the increasing expansion of the Centauri race, the increasing power of the Earth Force government, and how Jakar just feels like he's in this helpless state. And that's true, K. Roberts. Each season has a title. So season 2, what was it? It was
Coming of the Shadows.
Coming of the Shadows.
And the title of the season also has an episode with the same title.
So if it follows the same kind of placement, perhaps season 3 is named Point of No Return, or Yeah, actually, that one, or maybe War Without End. Am I allowed to know the season title? Like, did they
I,
announce that
I,
ahead of
I,
time?
I don't think they did, although I think
Okay.
you did know season two's title before we ever watched an episode.
Well, you may have
Or
mentioned season's two title before we watched an
do you
episode,
want to
but
know it? Do you want to know it?
no. Well, tell me when we get to it. We'll
Okay.
keep me in suspense.
Okay. Very good. Omni says it's printed on the DVDs, and he's right about that.
Oh,
It's printed on the Blu-rays too, I think. Not on the Blu-rays themselves, but on the box somewhere.
well, the good news is I back up all my media, and so I never actually touch. Like I have the physical media, but I don't touch it. So I have nothing to spoil it for me. I mean, I could go
There you
look,
go.
but I'm not going to. Not gonna do it. Um, but we'll see.
I can't wait till you see episode one because, well, there's something special in it.
Interesting. So next
Well, I'm
week,
not going to tell you what I'm not going to tell you what it is, but
and Lemon was asking, "Is this a Trump speech watch party?" I wasn't aware that he was making a speech tonight. Is
He
he?
says you'll see.
Are he and Zelensky hanging out again? Like I heard that kind of quelled down. Oh, the State
He
Union was
says he
tonight.
spoke for a minute 40 or hour 40.
State of the Union was
Hour.
tonight. Wow.
It was.
I
That's
would
right. I forgot about that.
I would not have I would not have thought that this early on in his presidency he would have had a State of the Union. Oh no, just a special address. Okay. Yeah, okay. That's what I thought, Omni, that he has a full year and then he talks about where he thinks he is. Um hopefully he does it the same way Biden did. I want the red light background, the
Ooh,
ominous.
wow.
I don't know what they were thinking for that one.
Yeah,
That was such
that
a.
was way off base.
But yeah, I'll have to watch that later. I'm curious to know. Um, I don't know. I like watching the presidential speeches directly, regardless of who is in charge, because the news media will select. They will very deliberately chop off someone's speech to
Oh
make
yeah.
them appear better or worse, depending on what they think of the president. So I like watching it myself, so I can be actually informed with like, oh yeah, surprise, legacy media is lying to you.
Omni, I'm curious. You say he's better than President Clark. Which one is better than President Clark, or both?
Take your pick. Uh, uh, Thomas predicts that I will do his favorite episode, number 10, when he's on vacation in early May. Ooh, a challenge. You think I'm gonna go that quick? Thank you.
That's pretty close actually. If we stay on on target here,
Is it really? Oh, it is March. Oh.
it is. It is. It's pretty close. Now, if you skip, a week every 2 or 3 weeks, then we're safe. And I have to agree with Thomas. Episode 10 is really good. You got some good stuff coming up.
All right, I look for. I'm not even gonna look at the name. I want to be surprised when I get to it. But I do look forward to next week, starting season 3. And
And Ami says episode 10 is almost as good as TKO.
oh, Omni.
Almost.
That's
Omni,
true, Josh.
you need some help, Omni.
Oh, K. Roberts is saying a congressman got booted by the sergeant of arms during the speech.
Mm.
Who?
Wow.
I mean, you got to be really out of line. A Texas congressman? What was it? Was it Mitch? Mitch McConnell is he's Texas, right? I know.
Mitch McConnell? No, he's
Isn't
not
he
Texas,
Texas?
is he? I don't think so.
I know. I can see his
Kentucky.
face.
Yeah,
He's
he's
Kentucky. Okay.
Kentucky. I couldn't remember if he was Kentucky or Tennessee. I knew he was in that part of the country.
Oh, and you're right. I'm wrong on all counts. No surprise. He's a senator, not a congressman. And that's who I was trying to think of. For the record, I was trying to think of our senator from Texas. Um, I can't believe I'm Cruz, Ted Cruz.
Ted Cruz, yeah, the one that flew to the Bahamas, was it, when we had our snowmageddon about
I don't blame him.
4
I
years
would have flown to the Bahamas
4
if I
years
had that
ago?
option. I mean, like people made a big stink about this, and like, no, I'm with him on this one. Hey, gorillas, how you doing? You missed an
Hey, Gorilla.
excellent season finale to season 2.
Fantastic. Oh, I think he did his own watch parties for Babylon 5 a while back.
Oh, did you?
I think he did. He has a different flair of doing it, but his own style.
Hey, no one can match my ability for getting names completely wrong. It's a unique style, but it's mine. And that's right, Joel. There were
John
two boobs.
showed up about 10-15 minutes ago.
When is Buster coming back? Buster.
You've forgotten right. Buster.
No, it's there again. Yes.
Buster.
He's off on a nuclear vessel somewhere.
Not Butler, Buster.
Yeah.
Kirk's dog in Generations. Butler.
I forgot he had a dog. Oh, Generations. Okay, yeah, okay. That hardly counts.
Ooh, shots fired. Pew, pew, pew. Beautiful day, says Omni.
Hey, gorillas, the strawberry cigar, was it any good? I'll forget my boss's name. Yeah, it's a limited Rolodex up there. Like someone approaches and I just kind of rifle through, hoping that I can match the name before they say hi to me. I usually fail. I feel bad about it too. I'm like, hey, and they'll walk by and I'll be like, Sebastian.
Hey, guy. Hey, guy.
Yeah, positive. That's what he was saying. That the dog's name was Butler.
Yeah.
Bester is the name of the head psychic guy, played by Walter Koenig.
Psychic. We're back to psychics.
Yes. hey, if I'm getting Bester, there's no way I'm getting anything else in this sentence right.
And Thomas is facepalming.
But I called him
Friends
Buster
Network
at some point, unfortunately.
Yes, Joel, telepath.
He's the head telepath. But I called him Buster, so he was saying it's a layered joke. There's a lot of layers here, and they all revolve around me getting names wrong.
Oh, well. At least it's not all just female names.
Yes, it's all names. Another great reference. I actually made someone very offended for the first time. They're like, okay, I didn't offend someone for the first time. They were here for the first time and immediately got offended, as is my usual modus operandi. And because I was getting all the names wrong, specifically the lady's name wrong. And like, why are you only getting the lady's names wrong? I'm like, ooh, you are new here. Give me a minute. I will get everyone's name quite wrong.
Well, it's just like you have trouble with Sheridan's name.
I do.
Sheridan
Every time I'm like,
Sinclair.
come on.
Um,
Maybe they had different initials or something. Well,
JS.
Joel, maybe I am a psychic and that's the problem. I have so much data constantly coming in, I can't keep my mind on the present. Hmm?
Mm.
that was not a convinced I got from you, Jeff.
Well, I don't think you quite convinced me, so.
I knew you were going to say that.
Of course you did.
I mean, that's obviously why I get every week correct on my prediction.
Ouch, Thomas. Psycho, maybe, says Thomas.
Psycho, psychic, that's within the Matt range of correct on names. I'll take it. Well, guys, I do need to wrap this up here. Thanks for hanging out with us, and I look forward to seeing you next week.
All right, season 3. Can't wait.
Take care.
Have a good week, everyone.
Thanks for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please be sure to hit that like button and share it with your friends. If you haven't subscribed yet, I hope you will, and be sure to hit that bell icon to be notified of all the updates I do on this channel. If you want to support the work I'm doing here, then I hope you'll consider becoming one of my Patreons, where you'll get early access to all kinds of videos. And until the next time, may the Lord bless you and keep you. May he cause his face to shine upon you and be gracious to you. May the Lord lift up his countenance upon you and give you peace. Amen.